Here we go, we got our transformer rigged up. Not the safest thing in the world, but I'm not keeping it that way. But look at this. All the units so far that I've tested that weren't broken have been working. So if the sign didn't have stuff on it, it was probably due to the transformers just being bad. But there we go, that unit is good. I can take that off the list of worrying about. And for some reason it's got this weird yellow there, but anyways, there you go. The kind of the rocket top here. Let's test this one. I'll just leave the camera right here. I gotta flip the switch. That's what I'm doing here. See what happens. All right, there it is. Probably won't hear me, so I'll have to shut up. I clean this tube up, or unit, and that'll be good. And you can see it kind of is blue in there, but yeah, it needs some cleaning. So far so good. The units that weren't broken have all been working, so hopefully all the letters that aren't broken, there's a few of them that are broken, will work also. Now this makes me happy right here. We're getting a little bit of burnage right there. That this thing actually works real good. Nice and bright. All right, here we go. We got the one rocket with the, well, there's two rockets that had 0 broken neon. And tested all of them, they all work. So I just kind of loosely wired them back up because I've been excited to see this rocket lit up. It hasn't been lit up in, I don't know, 15 years or something like that. Maybe even more, maybe less. I have no clue on how long it's been. But I'm going to turn off the lights and then we're going to see this thing light up. And there it is. Just wonderful. It's beautiful, bright white. And then actually I measured it out. It's 11 foot 3 inches tall from top to bottom. Nice bright red neon flames, obviously. And then all this all works great. All these tubes are still operational after all these years. What we got here is the neon tube stands, and this little section right here where my finger is, that there's where the screw went through into the sheet metal and held the stand in place, and then the glass here is the insulating portion, and they would have wire around them. So what I'm going to be doing is going through this little bin here, clipping the wire off, which is all useless at this point. And that's the ones that still have it, and like this one doesn't. But there's junk in here. So I'm starting to, go through here and get everything sorted so that we can get these parts cleaned up and get it ready to reinstall and well, whatnot. There's some of the wire right here. I don't know if that's coming in on camera or not. It's pretty thin. And well, this one here, it's got the wire on it there. I'll be clipping that off, so I'll get my little clippers and just cut it off. They're wound around it, and there's this little thing here, if you didn't know, and that's got a little radius cut into it, and that's where the tube would sit, the neon tube, that is. And so anyways, this is what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going through and get these clipped out, and they're wound up pretty good in there. So getting the wire off and then putting them in the bin to get these cleaned up. So I've got these light bulbs here too. I've only managed to get a couple of them out of the sockets up on the globe, and I'm going to hold on to a couple of these ones that just glass came completely out of the metal part there, and namely because I'm going to have to get replacement light bulbs, and I want this shape of the glass that's on the bulb to match the sign, obviously. So anyways, there's some of the ones that I managed to not break. But anyways, and then I got a bunch of hardware down in the corner there. I got to sort that as well, because some of it's for the globe, some of it's for the moon, and some of it is for the rockets, as well as the screws for the stands. So I'll get all that organized as we go through. What I'm doing right now is just getting these parts all up in a bin like that, getting it labeled this way. As time goes on, as I get closer to the end and I need the hardware, I know what hardware I'm going to be using. So it's just basically being organized on the job. And I got the doors right here, the access doors, and I wrote on them as I took them down. It didn't matter because I'm going to be refinishing them anyways. That way I know what's what. So anyways, all right, gonna move on. Now just take a quick look, and again, just kind of getting into the details of the sign. And here's the nice little stainless steel button head screws that they had for the stainless steel trim up on the globe, as well as the moon, and any other stainless steel trim had the button heads on it. And then we got these things here, and this is what was holding the crescent moon on top of the sign and the globe to the Moon Motel light box there, or can. And so anyways, there's this hardware here, and that's what this is for. Some of the hardware I had to cut, and so anyways, that'll get replaced. But I'll get all this stuff labeled, and I'll do that so I don't forget. And then I got to go through and sort all this stuff out, and there's various screws in various places all over the sign. But anyways, there you go. And there's the box getting all marked up. I guess there's an emergency going on. Nope, what we're looking at here is the crescent moon top that was sitting on the very top of the sign. I threw some lights in it, backlit it up, just kind of get excited to see what it's going to look like. And well, it won't have the hot spots in it right there. Hopefully, it'll probably have the long ones because it had the fluorescent tubes in it. We're going to get started on it. Get this polycarbonate yellow plastic cleaned up. I got to go through, do the stainless steel trim, obviously do the rust work on that. The bottom's rusted out. I got to remake that piece, do the electrical in it, and well, this is the first piece. Now I'm getting officially started on the restoration. It's one thing to take it down, the sign down, and bring it back to the shop. It's another thing to actually start cleaning this metal up and getting all this stuff taken care of, and getting this cleaned and straightened out, and replacing the hardware that's missing, because there's, you know, over the years, we're going to get all the stainless steel with the stainless steel trim. And well, there you go. I just wanted to kind of put this up. Well, what we're looking at here is the Motel letters from the Moon Motel sign. These were the letters I took off when it was still standing. And we can see the condition. We'll start with this. I already started bead blasting this one. We're stripping all the old paint off and trying to take care of some of the rust. You got some rust in there, and it had some rust down there. But we are going to get these all bead blast so I can get some good primer on them. That's the thing that I'm doing that wasn't originally done, is that I am putting a real good coat of primer paint on here. And it was prepped. These are white all the way around. You can see that on the back. And there's different blue on the edges, but I'm going to paint these back as if the sign's brand new. And like it just got set up, as in how these letters are done. Because the blues, you can see there's a different shade of blue there. It had a different shade of blue than it had a darker blue versus the light blue. Let's see if I can find the light blue. There's the light blue right there. And you can see the dark blue in the circle right there. And when I pulled these off, there was a darker blue behind these. So I'm going to set it up, the sign, as, you know, there's different variations of it. Back with the light blue and whatnot, because that's just what most people recognize. They don't recognize the old green and dark blue sign. So, which would be interesting to do that. I very well could if I wanted to, but I don't think I really want to. I just want to do it where I can do the two different variations that people are familiar with the blue globe and the white globe, the water beds and the free internet. Those are the two kind of time frames that I want to have the sign in, because I can switch it back and forth easily just by doing the faces on the boxes, the light boxes. But anyways, here's that. Going to get all these bead blasts, and we'll pick it up when I'm doing the work. What I'm going to do with this now is I'm just going to go ahead finish bead blasting, get the rust off of it, and obviously the old paint, and so that I can set it up, prime it, and get it back to original white color. It was white all the way around, and well, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll show this on the video real briefly. I don't want to bore everybody with it, but there you go. There's just a quick glimpse of the bead blasting process, and well, if I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, we'll pick this up after it's all done. Well, what we got here is obviously the free phone box that was on the Motel sign. I just kind of put this up there just to kind of just get this little video segment here. But anyways, how it operates is it's got this little bit of trim right here. This is loose, and there's a piece on each side, obviously to keep it from blowing out or whatever, falling out. And well, let me do this. I'm gonna just basically try to reach through here, see if I can push the box. Get this section out here real quick. Part of my camera work. I should probably put this up on a tripod, but then I'm going to be picking up the camera here in a second. All right, put that down safely right there. And let's look at the box. Trying to stay in the light. What we got is the ballast. We got some leafy debris. We got a rusted out frame. This is probably going to get redone. The other side only have one piece of metal here, and of course here's some of the trim there. But we had 4 short fluorescent tubes in here to backlight the stuff, and there's the ballast and all the wiring. They just kind of dumped some junk in there. There's some of that, some more debris. I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, and we get all this wiring right here cut out, and well, look at that, that's loose right there. And we're going to replace all this stuff, and we're going to get it wired properly too. And the wires, when I pulled it off, they went through this nice little section right here into the main body of the sign, the rocket that was sitting right there. And so anyways, and well, here's this. Got some metal coming to replace that, and then once that's done, I'm going to go through and clean all that up. I should go ahead and start doing this here, but this is a project that's I'm not getting paid to do this, so I got to do stuff like that to keep the bills paid. And so anyways, we've got a lot of paint to get off of here. We're going to shine up all this stainless steel. And well, I'm going to get into cleaning this up a little bit so we can make this better. This is an easy fix in all reality. It won't be too expensive. I've got fluorescent ballasts right here. I'm going to check on the tubes, which are real short, and see if I can get them still. I'm going to try to stay away from LEDs, then because they weren't originally in there, but if I got to use LED lights on the backlighting of this, I guess I got to kind of be good with that, even though it's not all that original. So anyways, just one more glimpse. You can see this one's hanging right here, and well, there it is. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's not going to be too difficult to clean up. And we also got a little hole right here. So I'm going to be welding that in, patching that up. I'm going to try to keep all this as original as possible. I'll probably paint the floor white to help with the brightness. I'll probably paint all of it white inside. Yes, I am changing. I'm not trying to do a 100-point restoration on this. I'm doing a restoration with some improvements, namely because I can, and I think it'll make the sign better. And if it doesn't, I can always go back to this because, well, I'm the one doing the work anyway. So there you go, up top. All right, this is what was section here. This is what was butted up against the Motel can. And we'll come take a look at the outside where it's got blue paint flakes. We're going to do this all original white. We got a rust hole down here. Doesn't surprise me. And up underneath doesn't look too shabby. There's a couple rust holes. So we'll take care of everything. I'm going ahead and clipping all these wires out of here. We're going to start getting this mess cleaned up. All this stuff's going to get redone. We want it to be safe, obviously not catch on fire. So this thing is completely loose in there, at least the ballast, but not the wire portion. And get that done there. Get that out of the way. I'll see what information I can get off of the top of it right there. That'll help me with the getting the appropriate thing for the lights, but that may change because, well, I may not be getting any kind of original style lighting here. Now we're looking at this. This stuff is just kind of sat in there, and then up here you can see right here, this is the spring-loaded portion right here. So whatever I get, I got to make sure that the spring-loaded portion's up top and that it's capable to do what it needs to do. And let's look at this frame. This frame obviously has been moved right there. That bolt hole is lined up there. And you got another one down there. There is no other section of frame, but yet oddly enough there is this piece sitting in here. I don't know what that was meant to do. This piece of trim goes on the outside, but it's kind of cut short, I guess just for the bottom. And well, there you go, there's that, even though it's painted white. So I don't even think that was in there. I think this got put in there, it's in the wrong spot somehow or another. Kind of fits the width, but it's got white paint on one side. So I'm going to say that's some of the structure that was unbolted from the main can. And well, we're going to clean up this leafy debris, and I may go ahead and pull this frame out here because it is completely gone right here, other than on the flat bottom there, but the side's completely gone. We're going to replace that. We don't need to have metal with holes in it like there. And so anyways, I'll get that out, get this cleaned up. Well, we're looking at the free phone box here. Let's assess some of the damage that needs to be fixed. Obviously we got that needs to be fixed, so the electrical needs to be done, and we got up top there too. I've already pointed that out, but here's the big issue right here. Look at that decay right there. We're going to replace that piece of metal. It's steel angle iron. The box is aluminum. So what has happened is that, well, due to dissimilar metals, we've got some holes right here, right there, and then on the other side. And that is exactly where the steel frame was sitting. And then we got the holes right here. And I'm sure there's some, yep, there's another one. And this is all due to the rusting and the chemical reaction of the rust. And we got something right here too as well that may have been a sheet metal screw or something to help hold the frame underneath, and well, it deteriorated. But we're looking at some pretty bad rust there. We're going to get this frame cut out and get it removed from here, get the new metal in and get it welded up. That's the next thing I'm going to be doing, and well, let's get on with it. Got the cut off. We're going to go ahead and get some metal cut out of here. Make sure this thing's fitting the right way. Yes, it is. Yeah. That's the first cut. We're going to come back and cut over here. Hopefully it's pretty deteriorated because I want to be able to pull this frame out. Got the frame out, and just look at all this debris and rust that's sitting in here, and you get a good look at the, we'll say decay. You can't really say it's rust holes because it's aluminum, but it's dissimilar metals causes this, and the chemical reaction between the rust and the aluminum. But we're going to get all this patched up, fixed up, and just make it right. And there it is. There's just a bunch of debris. Take a look at the frame real quick, and well, we got the kind of the rust piece I just dropped down here, and then the frame right here, and we got some holes just right there and there. They held this frame, which was obviously inside the box, up to the Motel light box portion, or can, it would be the better word. And I got this cut out here and here. I got the replacement metal. I'm going to clean up, get the rest of this cut off here, and obviously the rest of this down here cut off, and get that metal put in. It's about 4 feet of angle iron. So I'll get that, I got to get all this cleaned up here, and I'll probably go ahead and paint the outer edge here, reinsert this into the box, and then weld that piece on, and then paint the inside portion here in the box, because I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside of this, get the brown out and put bright white in there. That way there's more reflectivity behind the polycarbonate panels. But this isn't too shabby. It's going to be just a little bit of work to get it, back up to snuff, but I'm not complaining. We're going to get this done. All right, what we got here is we got a box. I know what's in the box. We're just going to open it up real quick. I got a 3-position chaser, or 3 contact chaser, or something like that, for the Moon Motel sign. I also got some more letters for the drive-in sign. Let's take a look at this. I've got these, but they're 4 position or whatever. I don't know what to call them. The correct terminology. Maybe somebody can correct me in the comments. But it's packed up pretty good. And I'm doing a terrible job videoing this. But, there it is. In the bag. Let's see. And I got a cat on the other side of the door. It hears me and wants my attention. So, hopefully it doesn't get yelping too much. Let's take a look at this real quick. Don't do any damage. It looks pretty clean. Copper plate's real clean down there. Pardon the camera going all over the place. It's just the way it is. Alright. There it is. Yep. I have to plug it in, make sure mechanically it's working. They sit like this. The one in the sign was laid down like that, which puts a lot of stress on the wheel that way. You actually want to sit them vertical. That's the way I understand it. Again, if I'm incorrect, hopefully somebody corrects me on that. But there we go. Just kind of showing that real quick, and I'll spin it so you can see the action. And that's all it's doing, is spreading the points. So it's got a lot of little light bulbs that are going to be hooked up to it, and they'll be chasing each other. So it's a 3-position chaser. There's 3 wheels and copper plate down there, and it's a sign trawl right there. So there it is. Moon Motel sign is. I can't wait to get this done. I got to get a couple more of those. When it was originally set up, as I understand, the rockets actually flashed on and off, and then they the city put an ordinance where they couldn't do that because it's too distracting for the drivers. But then the light bulbs up top still had the chaser attached to it, and that's what this is for. Well, if I kind of wired it up, and there it is, it's working. That makes me happy. So we're going to have some flashing lights on the globe for sure. There it is. Kind of see how it operates. The contacts break loose with the cam gears. There's the copper plate that's gotten magnetized and spinning. And there's my OSHA approved wiring yet again. But there it is. That makes me happy. Good working piece here. Alright, I'm going to get this unplugged and put away until I need it.